Oh man. The whole point is to share it on here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Embarrass the shit out of
I
yourself.
keep the conversation, as random as possible.
And you're doing a fine job on your end.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. I'm your host, Jukebox, back with another episode of Stardom. And with us, a guy that's been following me on Instagram for a while. We've kind of talked a little bit here and there. And we're finally getting you on. Brian Wells, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Every time I do a show, every time I hit go live, I'm usually in a pretty good mood. If I'm
Good.
not in a good mood, I usually reschedule because it just kind of ruins the show.
Fair. Totally.
So, first off, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
That's such a tall question. It's such a tall question. I mean, I'm Brian. I'm a Libra, and I'm one of those people that I think it's important, but it's also, I understand that's super annoying as well, and so I'm not unaware that can be annoying. So, but I mean, I do stand up in the Midwest, and I'm just super happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you on, man. It's funny that you mentioned Libra and that it matters to you, because to me it makes no difference. But why? I have friends that are all about like astrological signs and kind of human design. What fascinates you about it?
It's something I have always really loved and enjoyed, but I think the thing that's so that I make fun of myself is that stars exist. Okay. Like I understand they're in the sky, but I when people are like, oh, there's the North Star, or there's Jupiter, there's Saturn. I'm like, it's lost on me. I cannot see it. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it's a white one. It's there. It's there. But, astrology is all based off of where the stars are in the sky. But here I am like, oh, astrology, it's so amazing. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know where these stars are. So I'm like totally dependent on, other people's information. So it's kind of like my own baloney right there. And, but I've moved from just doing straight up, like newspaper horoscopes or things like that to, deep diving into like YouTube tarot, which is a wild community, crazy, competitive.
Sounds like a crazy rabbit hole to get into.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. Like I have to have rules for myself about YouTube tarot because it's like you can only do so much. But yeah, but even then, like you're at the mercy of what people say, believe, and things like that. So you have to be super, super discerning. But it's something I've always been interested in and whatever. And I think I'm a little lighter and looser about it now, even though it's still on my horizon. Like I enjoy like looking if in our area we have Coffee News, which is this little brown one sheet, and it's just local businesses that can advertise. Well, Coffee News has its own like little one-line horoscopes. So that is my like, oh my God, it's Coffee News or bust, It's like if I'm gonna get like, so if I'm really invested, I'm like gonna go straight for the clownery with scope anymore. So, but yeah.
So are you also into like crystals and stuff like that, like their energies?
No, like I would no. Yeah, it's a no. It's a no.
All right. I know that it seems to kind of go hand in hand with a lot of people that are like related to that.
Yeah, there's like 98% of me is saying absolutely no, but there's 2% of me that would love to explore this. But the 2% that is hanging out, it's like it's an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby to start exploring crystals, and then you also have to be like, I'm a crystal person now. Like I'm literally going to believe that this rock is going to do this for me. And I can get away with a lot of buffoonery, but I don't know if I can do crystals. So
I feel like you'd have to be committed enough to like be able to explain it too. And I think that can be very annoying and overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't know if I could do it. So another thing, I do have a question because social media is like such a big deal now, but you only have an Instagram. Why is that?
I only have an Instagram. I need to be a grown-up adult especially with my comedy, and have more platforms. And it is like, it's a 2025 goal for me. So I used to have, I mean, I had a MySpace like 1,000 years ago. I had a
Back in like
Friendster.
1998.
Right. I mean, so it's not like I don't know, but it's one of those, I've done it, and I've had, I think if you're of a certain age like me, where you've kind of at the forefront of social media, like you've had all different sorts of experiences. So when people are like, so it's like, I know my MySpace was just a crap show. Like I would blog about people and it was, insane, just insane stuff. So it's stuff that I'm like not super proud of. Like I don't think it exists anymore. Fingers crossed, like hand to God.
I think it does, but I don't think it has any sort of like credibility.
Yeah. So I've done it. It is what it is. I need to get back on it. Facebook is just so wild. But the more and more I speak with comedians, the more and more they're booking gigs on Facebook. They're connecting with people on Facebook. Like, so as much as I want to be like, I don't need it. At the same time, you kind of do need it. And I have a pretty far reach on Instagram. Not as a brag. It's more of a, like, I feel like I can do a lot with Instagram, but it's not as far as you can go. So
right. And for me, it was opposite. Like it was backwards. Like so I did the MySpace thing, and for me, it was a lot of music and like talking about music. But I was never really big in WoW, but I had friends that were. So like MySpace and WoW were kind of like a big deal at the same time. But then I got Facebook, and when I started podcasting, I actually hate social media. I think it's terrible because it's like you have to commit in order to get what the reach that you want.
It's hard.
When you have when you have 5 platforms or whatever, it's like, oh well, did I post on here? Did I post on here? But it's been the biggest reach for what I do and for this network. So it's been kind of like a hate love kind of thing in that order. But I had Facebook, and then I got an Instagram because I realized that I could actually reach out to guests more on Instagram than I could on Facebook. I think because, like you said, Facebook is so wild and there's just so much going on. So I think Facebook and X have been my biggest platforms for reaching out to guests.
Yeah.
And actually that's Instagram's how I got in touch with you, obviously. So
yeah. Sorry. I do the Instagram for the Underground Laugh Lounge. And so that has been like a weird, because I don't do their Facebook, but I do the Instagram. And so
usually they're linked together.
Right. And I think that's where in the future there'll be some sort of like handover, because you're absolutely right. Like they are linked together and it's a thing. So
it's easier that way though. And that's what I did, was because like if you post on one, it automatically posts on the other.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier. And actually, so when I promote shows like this, it's easier for me to promote it as a story on Instagram because I can link the actual show in the story.
Right.
As in Facebook, I can't actually do the direct link in the Facebook story. But when it transfers over to Facebook, you can click on it.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
It's crazy.
With that being said, I did some diving into your Instagram and I found some pictures. So we're going to be discussing some of your pictures today.
I love it.
Does that sound good? All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. First up, if it'll pop up for me, we'll see if it works. Hopefully it's not all frozen on me. That's frozen. Give me a second here.
No, it's okay.
What I gotta do is I gotta disconnect and then reconnect. That's the wonders of having multiple screens.
Yeah.
So how long you been doing comedy?
Since the end of 2022. And it's something I had been thinking about for a long time because I grew up doing like plays and improv and stuff like that. And it's just something like, as I just did more and did my own writing, I was kind of like, maybe I should really do this. And I was in a play in 2013 and I was just like, I need to be doing stand-up. But that was 2013. And then I just didn't do it. And then COVID happened. And it was like, if you're really serious about it, like you need to like get off your butt and do it. So yeah. And then kind of that's what happened.
And that's kind of how it works. I think you got to get over that scare, or that fear of it. And then once you've done it, you're like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Let's
like,
try this again.
okay, cool. I'm not nervous. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So this is some little gay boy shit.
That's great. I love it. I actually read the little description, so I was like, this is perfect to talk about.
Yeah, and I really do mean it. So it's like I was super, super interested in girly stuff as a little boy and growing up and stuff like that. And I really love the story of Cinderella. Like, I understand where some people might dislike it or feel threatened or feel
Right.
weird or whatever. But I still think there's a lot of hopefulness in it. And so this is like, again, where people have all sorts of feelings and beliefs. I used to collect these glass slippers, and my family enabled this. So as much as, like, they enabled it, and this was my absolute favorite, and it broke multiple times. And so that's hot gluing glass slipper.
What was the term that you used for that? You said there's like a...
It's a Japanese term. I won't be able to pronounce it, I don't believe. I'm looking at my phone right now. And it's kintsugi, but I'm going to say it's kintsugi, and that's
you pronounce it better than I could.
If you're so I think if you're going to Google it, that'll give you a good place to start. But it's this practice of, like, when things are broken, they meld things together with gold, because ultimately when you bring it back together, it's stronger because you've brought it back together and things like this. So it's this beautiful metaphoric practice of, like, mending things that are broken. And so this is something that was important to me that was broken. It's not gold, it's like hot glue, but
Right.
I think it's the same idea.
Yeah, no, I actually was really intrigued by the description of this, because I had never even really heard of the term. And then you mentioned, like, really being fascinated by Cinderella. For me, it was Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast still to this day.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't even know why. I do. And then the reality one that they did it just ruined it for me.
Yeah, it's a big thumbs down. I think it's all the CGI. Like, I don't know why. I think this is when it would have benefited from actual costumes, like actual makeup and costuming. I think that would have made it better.
I agree 100%. I didn't collect. I think I collected, like, knives as a kid.
That's okay.
Yeah. But I also did. You remember Sobe? Those, like, Sobe drinks? They were in glass jars.
Yeah.
I used to collect.
Yeah.
Yes, I used to collect those when they were glass when I was a kid. I don't know why, but I had a wall where I literally had a pyramid of them that I was collecting.
And I have 2 nephews, and they're obsessed with Prime Energy, and
My oldest is too.
Yeah, they're collecting the bottles.
Yes.
They're like, and I'm like, guy, this is a plastic bottle, but they're obsessed. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's get on to the next one here.
Cool. Yay. Okay, this is this is a piece of art that was $5, and I bought it at Target. And I'm a crazy Target person.
I noticed on your Instagram.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And it's like, I could have a reality show about my love affair with Target, because it's crazy. Because I get really wild about their app. Like, I am the Kristen Wiig Target lady. Like, and actually I applied to work there 1,000 years ago, and they denied me. So I'm always like, what did I do on my Target application to not get a job at Target? Like, I
worked overnights at Target. And it was not. I don't know.
I'm happy for you, but it's still like, I think back to that. I'm like, I couldn't get a job at Target. So, but I just thought this was such a weird thing that they were selling. Like, I thought it was bizarre, but I mean, I kind of like it. It's interesting.
Where do you have it hanging right now? Is it in your house?
That's actually at my cubicle at work.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny thing. Like, it's just bizarre because people have all sorts of things in their cube. What's interesting is, like, I don't know if that's still in the comments or if I just got private messages. Yeah, somebody asked, "Are those chips next to it?" No, those are cough drops. I also eat cough drops like they're candy. There's and someone asked me, "Is it
They look like
sunscreen?"
they're from Target too.
They are. Oh, yeah, everything's there. Everything there is like, that could be in the store. That could be in the store, in the, the dollar section, so it just is what
I
it
like
is.
it.
Yeah,
We were at Goodwill and we saw a picture that was the creepiest like 3D picture.
uh-huh.
And my wife and I were like, we should get that for your brother because it looked possessed. And it
Yeah.
was only like $4. So he got it and we gave it to
Do it.
him and he loved it.
Mhm. I bought it.
Why
Yeah.
Target though? Like of all the stores, why Target?
You know, I it's just something like I grew up with. Like it's something that my mom like me has a Diet Coke addiction. She's recovering, I'm not. And
Mhm.
but we used to like after school go to Target, get a large Diet Coke, a pretzel and a pickle and
Mhm.
just eat that and then walk around the store, look at magazines and just like people watch and shop. So it kind of
Mhm.
was like it's like my ultimate decompress, and, like, I have converted some people to be like, "You know what? We're just gonna go to Target and have an indoor walk." So it's like, I'm not a mall walker, I'm a Target walker. So it's kind of it's a thing. It's a thing. So,
That is, I mean, I guess the kind of like the memories of doing it and everything, I guess
yeah,
would build that.
yeah,
And I've actually met a lot of people who are like, I'm not shopping at Walmart. I can't shop at
uh,
Walmart. They're big Target people.
yeah. I'm not anti-Walmart at all. Like, there's things Walmart does really well, and, yeah, that's a whole avalanche conversation for me, like, because I feel like Walmart gets a really bad rap. Like, I mean, it's not perfect and wild stuff happens there, but
That's why I
I
like it. But see, that's why I
yeah,
like Walmart though, because it makes me feel better about my life when I see everybody else.
right. So I mean, there's there's a lot to it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I
mhm.
definitely think that you have a lot more drama at Walmart than you do at Target.
You know, yes, but I think Target is ramping up because you see different like things on social media and things like that. And I don't know, this one time during the Christmas season, there was this manger. I think it also is on my Instagram, but someone's just stole Jesus from the manger set. And I went up to the guest cert. I'm like, I want you to see this. Someone stole Jesus in your Target. And they didn't care. They were just like, okay, well, thank you. We'll put it away. I'm like, you need to get over this PA. Like someone we need to find Jesus today. Like,
I'm
yeah,
willing to help you. Let's get a crowd. Let's go search
exactly.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Superstore on Hulu
I
or
know
heard?
of it. I know of it.
There's a
So I'm not
scene where two of the employees are arguing about that setup of Jesus in the manger, and like
yeah.
one of them's like a supervisor, and they're arguing with the manager, and she's like, "You can't have religious stuff on the display," and he gets all upset about it, and then she like
Oh,
drop kicks Jesus across the
oh my
room.
God. Yeah. It sounds like a
uh,
story of my life. Yeah. Mm,
all right, let's get on to this next one here.
okay. Yes. Okay.
Is that
So,
I actually googled it. That's an actual elementary school.
well, okay, there's some layers to this.
Okay.
So where I so I so right now I'm in Indiana. I was born in Tennessee, but then raised in Texas, and then we moved to Indiana. So where I went to school, I went to a school, AP Boydell, and during my 4th and 5th grade years, they had to renovate the school
Mhm.
because there was asbestos and all this type of stuff. So like I'd been sitting in the school for like 5 years, breathing in whatever. So it's like, I know like it kind of was like fast forward, you're gonna die of like lung cancer or whatever. But they did try to do the right thing to like renovate the school. But they moved all of the classrooms to this abandoned department store. And the department store that was abandoned was a Wiener clothing store.
That's
And so
okay.
yeah. So this is one of those, it wasn't like actual Wiener Elementary. Like it
Mhm.
actually was my elementary school, but it was in a an abandoned Wiener clothing store.
Right.
And so like they had just like cloth. dividers for the classrooms and things like that. It was crazy. Yeah. So yeah, but it was Wiener Elementary School.
So there is a Wiener Elementary School in Arkansas. I looked it up.
Oh,
It
well,
does exist. So there's that.
that's cool
So
too.
the other
Them.
kid, actually, the story behind that is really cool. A department store elementary school. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, I don't know. It was good
Did other
times.
kids do it too?
Huh. Oh yeah. Yeah, there was like, I mean, there was like a class of like, I mean, I think there was like easily 300 children in this abandoned department store, just going going to school. They would bus all the kids over there, and yeah, they didn't think, like, I don't know what, like, looking back, like the community had like 7 other elementary schools, so it's like I don't know why they didn't try to like divvy them up into other schools, but they just kept them
Right.
all, they kept the groups all together. So yeah.
Okay. I like that. See, when I was like kind of going into middle school, I
Uh-huh.
remember they were like moving the schools around. So like they got a new
Yeah.
high school. So they like transitioned us between like 3 different schools in 1 year. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's ridiculous.
Mhm. Oh yeah. That's cool. I mean, I've not actually heard anybody else to have, yeah, because in my experience of life, like that definitely, I've had a lot of school transition like that, and that's really why, that's what kicked it off. So yeah.
Do you have any like crazy memories of elementary school? Like something that happened that like was just so crazy you can't forget about it and you tell people about it?
Uh, well, and like, hmm,
I
hmm.
can give you an example.
I don't, yeah.
So for me, when I was in 3rd grade, there
Yeah.
was a kid. Did you ever like hang upside down on the monkey bars or walk across the monkey bars as a kid?
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
So one of the kids was hanging upside down on the monkey bar and he slipped and fell and
Yeah.
he busted his eye open. Like and
Yeah.
he didn't scream or nothing. He just stood up and all you just
Yeah.
see is this black
Uh-huh.
ink running down his
Yeah.
face and a bunch of kids like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. No, we had an art teacher that she, like, I don't know why I did this, but I said, she had a brain transplant. Like, I don't know why little Brian was such a snarky butthole, but sometimes that happened. And I was like, yeah, she had a brain transplant. And I thought I was being super slick and that she didn't hear me.
Mhm.
And instead of attacking me, like the friend that I was at this art table with, he was like, "Yeah, I heard you had a brain transplant." And she took the kid's hand, put it in her hair, and she was like, "Do you feel like that's my lobotomy scar?" And we were like, "Ugh!" So like the fact that she grabbed his hand and put it in her hair, and like so she like was totally in on hearing our, drama live
Conversation.
about her. Yeah. So
That
yeah.
actually reminds me of a story where I think it was 7th grade science,
Mhm.
and one of the special needs kids had like their
Yeah.
I don't know who they call them, like the adult that's with them in the
Yeah.
classroom. And we were talking about NASA, and I made a stupid joke saying that NASA meant need another 7 astronauts. And she got so livid because she said her kid was actually there training to be an astronaut. And I had no idea, obviously.
Dang.
So I got a nice talking to after that one.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, next up.
Okay.
Let's see here. This was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, this is a sentimental one. Yeah, so I like I said, I've been thinking about doing comedy for a long time.
Mhm.
I had done, plays and improv. Like I've written things, like I've written, I mean, this isn't a brag. This is just life. I think if you're a creative person, like you understand,
Yes.
like you do things and you're like, you can do things, a lot of things, and it go nowhere. And so like I've written 2 screenplays. I don't say that to brag. I say that's like I wrote them and like I submitted them to places and like they went nowhere. So
Mhm.
I've done a lot in my life to like be an artist and get paid. And so I, did stand up, and you never know what will happen. But like
Right.
after I did the class in 2022 and I was working with the group I work with, the Comedy Deli and stuff, I got on this show and to host, And so that was my first paid gig ever after having done things my entire life, like literally since elementary school, and not received any payment for, the creative work I've done. Like I got $10 from this show. And I don't know, I just thought it was important to like, remember it. And, so that's the actual $10, and that's the set list that I performed. And yeah,
I picked this because I've had a lot of artists and like comedians that do a lot of traveling on here, and a lot of them say like until you kind of make it, like you don't really make any money. You actually kind of spend money.
Yeah, I would agree with
you're
that.
investing in yourself. So like even to make $10 is huge because it
Yeah.
takes a lot of investment to get to that point.
Yeah, and it has been, when you start thinking about it, like it's not like, oh, I made $10 for this. I mean, I made $10 for 30 minutes. So someone might be like, wow, that's a easy $10. But it's like, really, that $10 was, it took me X amount of time to write the material, X amount of time to practice it, X amount of time like doing unpaid work. So suddenly it's like $10 divided by like, 6 weeks. So it's
Right.
like, like actually it's like a penny for a day, or something like.
Right.
So, yeah.
My very first job was
Mhm.
Sonic. I was a cook at Sonic, and
Yeah.
I made $5.25 an hour. And
Yeah.
back then, I was like, "Yes, I'm making some
Mhm.
money."
Yeah.
Now you can't survive on that. Sorry,
No,
guys.
not at all.
So that's big though. I mean, that's something that you did and you profited from. So I mean,
Yeah.
now
One
that set list was there anything in that set list that you still use today? I can try to zoom in here. Let's see if I can.
No,
zoom
I
in.
can see it. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
So, Twats, definitely. Twats is the Working Adult Artist Theater School. And so it's about, porn acting and why it's so bad. And like, I want to open up an acting school for porn stars. So Twats still gets used. Ursula is a parody song of Part of Your World, or Part of Your World. And so Ursula gets used. Freeze is a joke about our local police department had a career fair, so I kind of like do this like act out about me possibly going to the career fair. And so some of the stuff is used.
It's funny that you mentioned the poor acting in porn, because I've actually talked about doing a separate podcast of just like like how like a lot of the role play stuff it's just so bad, and I was like, we don't even have to show the porn scenes. You could just do the setups and talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just crazy. It's like, but that's why there's a joke. That's why I leaned into it. On that list, there's this Q of D, and that's question of the day. So a lot of I mean, as a personal writing practice, I will use Alexa. Hopefully she doesn't go off right now. But I'll talk to her and do question of the day. And that will be, it gives me a topic, and then I kind of do like a cloud bubble, and it's, I kind of brainstorm off of that topic. And so it kind of gives me, ideas of like things that I would never think about, to like bring material out. And that one specifically the question was, what's a sea creature that eats garbage on the ocean floor? And it's a sea cucumber or something like that. And it's super weird. And I was like, I don't know why they call it sea cucumber. They should call it mermaid pickle. And well, I'm glad you laughed. I don't know. I think when I tell it, maybe there's too much setup or something, but I don't know. And maybe it just exists in like a little burst like that. But it's something that mermaid pickle lives with me. And I'm glad, glad you enjoyed it just now, but it's something that is on that list that actually does not get brought into rotation, because I did it that day and maybe another time, and it just never really took off. So
that's fair. I mean, it could be the the setup. I don't know. Like you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was funny, but you kind of abbreviated it. You were kind of quick about it, so I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why I thought it was funny.
Yeah, a compliment to you, and Elise and I have talked about it. Like you've edited a few reels,
Mhm.
and I work with another writer in our community, Rob, and Rob is very big about like get on the ramp, get off the ramp, like get to the funny.
Yes.
And you have edited a few reels where I'm like, well, I think I've got it bare bones, but then you have edited other things out that I'm like, oh my God, okay. I guess I could have got there faster. So that's a compliment to you. Like I appreciate
Thank
that.
you. No, thank you. And I think the biggest thing doing what I do, and I think I love helping, you guys out,
Mhm.
and Elise too. And actually, Elise, I think, won a competition recently for something I edited for her. So that makes
Mhm.
me feel good.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing I've noticed out of doing what I do is removing the extra, just
Yeah.
kind of hitting the points, because
Mhm.
people in the algorithms, which I hate talking about this, but because it's so
Yeah.
factual, if you can't capture the audience within 3 seconds, they swipe away. The algorithm just you're gone.
Yeah.
So I think dragging, unless you're like a huge celebrity, then somebody will
Right.
watch 10 minutes because they're just a big fan. But it's the way it is. I mean, I hate it, but it works. And I think the biggest like challenge for me when I do it is, how do I still capture what they want, but still
Yeah.
get rid of the extras?
hard.
So yeah,
It's hard.
it is.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's a thing. I
It
have a
is.
YouTube and I have like little clips on my YouTube and like exactly what you're saying, like it doesn't get a lot of views, which is okay.
Mhm.
I just want to get stuff up there for other purposes. But it is like again with the 2025, like I gotta get on Facebook. I've got to create more reels. And another comedian, exactly like what you were saying, he was like, just create a reel of people laughing. Like just create a reel. Like it's one of the as much, even if it's incoherent, it's like if people see people laughing, it's like then it means something. So yeah.
And I do it because I enjoy what I create.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily care about the views, but it feels good when you get the views.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I might post 10 clips and 2 of them do pretty well, and I'm still fine with that because I still enjoy the
Right.
stuff I'm putting out. I wouldn't put it out there if I didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Agreed.
On to the next one here.
Okay.
I'm guessing another Target picture.
Okay, this is Home Goods.
So
And
it's not Target. Okay.
Home Goods is moving into my heart pretty fast. Like Home Goods is totally my side bitch. So 100%. And I have a friend, Kelsey, and Kelsey is like, she's somebody that I have converted to being a Target enthusiast, but we do a lot of like, we've had a lot of life together. We've worked 2 different jobs together. We grocery shop together. We're she's one of my best friends. And so she also enables me to do dumb stuff. Like, and she's not only does she enable, but she's a good audience member. Like it's good and bad. Like sometimes I will get a reaction out of her that is so satisfying. And like, it's like, okay, maybe I've got something or maybe whatever. Like, so it's an enabler, but then it's like, I know that I can do dumb stuff and she'll react. So it kind of is like, it's totally playing with fire. And so not that this is
actually,
yeah.
And I kind of picked this one because I wanted to, like a lot of like the short skits, and I'm sure you've seen some of the ones I do. They're just dumb.
Yeah.
But I have no problem putting them out there because I'm confident in what I do. And I feel like there's some confidence in this picture because you posted it. And I think the absurdness of it is clever because that's why this show is called Stardom. I mean, people post ridiculous things nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you 100%. It's meant to be silly, wacky, dumb, fun, just an effervescence, like just boom, done. I will say the other part of this is like, I actually thought this was a good representation of me. And so like with dating profiles and things like that, other people be like, oh, don't post this. Like, this isn't a good picture of you. But in my opinion, this is like, if you don't enjoy this, or if you don't see something in this, we're not going to work. Like we're not going to work. It's, I really want to see, like when you first wake up, when you're whatever. Like I want to see those moments because that's going to be life. That's going to be the
Right.
everyday. But seeing something like where you have filters, where you have extra eyelashes, or perfect skin tone, like that's not real. So
Well, that's also, I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly why this, like a lot of my shows are live. This one
yeah,
in particular, I always do live because I like that raw reaction from people. I don't
yeah,
want that edited, scripted content where you
mhm,
don't get where you're interviewing somebody with the bullet points, and it's not what I like. So when you
yeah,
were like, "What's the topic going to be?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you, but you'll enjoy
yeah,
it."
yeah,
Um, it's because you can't prepare. It's raw. I get to know you. You bring up
yeah,
stories that you haven't thought about in a decade, and it's
yeah.
fun. It's fun for me, and then I
Same.
feel like I'm making another friend.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, next
I like
up.
it. Okay.
This is a ridiculous pizza, by the way. This looks absolutely ridiculous.
So, okay. In my whole, like, again, like, not that I'm meant to be doing comedy. Like, I'm not trying to talk down about, things that are going on. I love comedy.
Uh,
I'm happy that I've had a little bit of traction, success. I'm grateful. I don't want
mhm,
to poo poo on that.
mhm,
So, but again, the road to get to even where I'm at right now has been a long road of other turns. So one of
mhm.
my absurd like thoughts of my journey was like, I'm going to open up a pizza parlor. Like I'm going to be a pizza person.
Mm,
And it started with being like, at one point I was going to have a YouTube channel of like, Will It Pizza, and like
mm.
try to recreate these pizzas from like, like there's Pizza Hut in, Japan, and they have all these absurd flavors. It's
Right.
like, can we like recreate that here and like taste it and like, and it's kind of a cool idea, but
Mhm,
it's not, it's kind of one note. Even though it seems complicated, it's kind of one note.
mhm,
So I had this idea of like, I'm going to do pizza, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so I started playing with certain things. And then it was, I was at one point like going to the store and buying like all these ingredients, and that can be expensive as, totally
yeah,
ridiculous. Um, and I would just, have all these pizza failures.
uh-huh,
And that really should have been the chance as pizza failure. Like that would be gold.
yeah,
But I so I went from being super expensive to like suddenly, if I'm going to make pizza, and even ordering deliver, it's like it's got to be cheap. Like I
yeah.
cannot bring myself to buy all this. The fact that Papa John's is $40. It's like, no,
Oh my god,
no,
yep, yep.
Papa, I know you. I have ordered you. I've been loyal, and now you're $40. No, get out of here. Get out of here,
Yeah.
Papa. Go home. You're
Well,
drunk
and
dad.
like,
But
to make one pizza
yeah.
costs like $3 or $4.
So I was going from super expensive. So now the goal is exactly what you're saying, to be $3 or $4, to be cheap. And so
Uh-huh.
these pizzas right here, this pizza is one where it's like the crust is just flour and Greek yogurt. So like that Greek yogurt
Oh,
is
so
like,
you even made the crust yourself.
yeah. So the
That's
crust is
impressive.
like, less than $1. The tomato sauce is like diced tomatoes and like some paste, and with some like sugar and seasoning and stuff like that. And then it's just shredded cheese. So it's like,
Alright.
that is like a probably under $4 pizza right there.
How does it taste? Did it taste good? Do you remember how it tasted?
I mean, the cheese and the tomatoes are good. The
Uh-huh.
crust, I enjoy it. However, if I was like, again, I'm going to open up a pizza parlor, I'm going to have a little, no, this is one of those where I've read, like, I got the recipe online, and it was one of these, food bloggers where they were like, oh my God, this is like a healthy, easy recipe. And it does taste like health food. It is cardboard.
Yes.
And I have tried to jazz it up with garlic powder and
Mhm,
salt and pepper and other things over the years,
mhm,
and it's very hard to make the Greek yogurt and just flour, those two
mhm.
together, even though it's like, well, you should be able to manipulate it. I do think it's hard to make it super flavorful. So it's very, very, very plain.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean, it was,
when
it
you
was
you
good.
mentioned health you mentioned health. I mean, that healthy
Yeah.
foods tend to not have a lot of flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it was a good,
Uh,
yeah, it was good. But was
but
it like, I'm gonna change the pizza world. No. Yeah.
We actually like making our pizzas at home, but we like to go to Aldi because you can buy the dough.
Yeah.
So we'll go there, we'll get 3 or 4 dough, and then we'll make our own pizzas. And it's a lot cheaper than going out and buying a large pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the kids enjoy it.
Yeah. I want to be the person that will, bloom the flower, let it rest overnight, all these things. And I don't know. I can't commit to it.
Yeah, you have to have patience. Like for me, I'm the same way though. Fried rice. I love fried rice. But in order to get the best fried rice, you cook the rice the day before and let it sit in the fridge. And that's a struggle for me.
Yeah. It's hard.
All right, next up. This one was interesting.
Okay. So, kind of related to this conversation. This is a cake that my dad made, and he is like in retirement, and this is a bigger story. So again, with this comedy journey, my parents are supportive but cautious. They're supportive, at one point, like probably 15 years ago, I tried to have a YouTube channel with a friend, and I made out with her in a Walmart, and it was just about being dumb. It was dumb, and it was funny, and it was comical, and whatever. And they totally were like, "You're making porn. You can't do like you'll never work again." And it was just this huge, crazy family drama about me making out in Walmart on film. So again, like with the comedy stuff, it's been very cautious. Anyhow, so my dad is really into baking. I'm grateful that and it's good. It tastes good. So, but he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to make a YouTube. Like, would you want to help me with my YouTube? And I'm like, dude, you guys blew up at me for a YouTube. And now but okay. So he made a video. It's not on YouTube, but it is very sweet. And it's, again, somebody that has never done something on stage or, so it's like, you can tell he doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's, very trying to just the facts. And it's very cute, very enduring. And that's not to talk down or make fun of him. It's actually he's being so sweet and sincere. But he made this Frankenstein cake for Halloween. So it's just a yellow cake, and then there's a Jello brain, and so
what you can see on the Instagram. I didn't want to pick all the pictures, so I picked the finish. But I thought that was actually cool with the inside of it being all gelatin.
Yeah, so that was something he did, and it was cool, and I'm happy he did it.
I'm glad you posted it too. It actually looks pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I think I could probably do that, but it would take some work.
Yeah, I cannot. He had an airbrush, spraying the the color on the icing, and this is going to town. Yeah.
All right, let's get on to this next one here.
Yeah,
this is something you did, right?
This is a 6th grade art project, and we were just doing this it's a 6th grade art project for Christmas time, and it was about doing these stained glass things. So it was kind of, back then it was definitely aimed towards, church windows. And I didn't go to a private religious school. It was still public school. But it was about, cutting with precision and gluing the tissue paper in there and things like that. I got an A+ on it. I was very proud of it.
It looks really good, actually.
Thanks. Yeah, and my grandparents had it in their home for years, and so it was actually it was sweet that they had it up all that time. So it was cool.
Did it bug you? Did it as you got older? Did it bug you that they had it up, or do you still appreciate that piece?
I really appreciated it because it was they loved me, and it was endearing, and it was kind of special, and I remember enjoying making it, and then I got an A+ on it, and then there was somebody in the class, and she was oh, what gets an A+? She was super butthurt that she got whatever type of grade, and then she saw mine, and she was like, okay, that's very good. And I was like,
In
so
your face.
yeah, exactly. It was very in your face.
Mhm.
So yes, I mean, I enjoyed it. So
Good.
I still like
I
that one.
like it. I mean, I think it captures kind of that Cinderella aspect that you enjoy too.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right, let's get this next one. We got I think we got one or two more left.
okay, that's cool. Yeah, to be clear, I don't judge. I evaluate correctly.
Now, is that your handwriting?
That is my handwriting.
I write the same way.
Yeah. I think that's artistic, creative people typically have an interesting handwriting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my
What
handwriting. So
what's so go a little bit more into detail than just what it says.
I yeah, that's like I think I am a nice person. Well, actually, no. I am a kind person and I try
Mhm.
to be polite. Being nice sometimes is like too much or too
Right.
syrupy or like not sincere. Sometimes
Mhm.
like, being nice is not being sincere and being kind is like you got to deliver some tough news and things like that.
Mhm.
And say that you don't judge people is just a dead lie. And
Everybody does, unfortunately, but
everybody judges, everybody and I think with the political world that we live in, again, I'm not going to get political,
mhm.
but with racism and like things like that, like I don't think it's weird that you don't understand that maybe you have some sort of like racist thought that you're unaware of that's unchecked. And
Right.
like that's okay. And so now if you acknowledge it and you see it, then
Mhm.
challenge it and grow beyond it. Like that's
Mhm.
not being racist. That's actually growing and evolving. And
Mhm.
yeah, so having some of those like nuanced conversations, it's hard for people because they're like, well, I'm not racist, or like it's just who I
Mhm.
it's like, no, I'm not even trying to make you wrong. It's
Mhm.
let's talk about it. Let's work through it. Let's be aware. And so like this is, kind of I don't know. It's kind of, I don't judge people. I evaluate correctly. It's
Yeah.
again, it's not even about racism at all. It's more about just people in their lives and it's yeah,
I
I
agree. I actually I picked this because I actually agree a lot with it, but I think there's a lot
yeah.
of like weight behind the statement.
Mhm.
Like for me, I know I'm not racist.
Yeah.
However, anybody that like craves attention, it doesn't matter your
Yeah.
race or your sexuality or any of that. If you are craving attention and it's obvious, I probably just don't want to talk to you. And I'm gonna be blunt about it.
There's a lot of people in the health and fitness space right now and the bodies. Doesn't matter who you are, gay, straight, man, woman, does not matter. I mean, you can find whatever you're looking for. You can find
Mm,
a whatever you're looking for. And
mm,
you know what? Slow clap to you for
mm,
your commitment to your body, whatever. But when you're putting it out there, like there's definitely some attention seeking and I
mm,
have gotten to the point where it's like I do get lost in the comments, and it's like these guys that are very masculine, straight presenting, their comments are all men, just like, I love you, bro, to like,
yeah.
destroy me, daddy. Like they go, it
Yeah.
swings from both sides, but it's all coming
Uh,
from it's fascinating. But again, like with those situations, it's like, what are you really doing? It's like
mm,
you're looking for attention. Like I
right.
understand like, you're saying that it's this, but it's like you're looking for the attention,
Mhm,
whether it's from these people or the endorsements or the whatever. Like
mhm,
you're doing it, and even with my comedy, it's like, oh well, you're just attention seeking. Well, a big conversation within the community is like, oh, so and so is a narcissist. So and so is a narcissist. I think anybody that gets up on stage there's a thread of narcissism running
right.
through them somewhere because like it takes some, chutzpah to get up there and to do
Yeah.
it. Even if
Yeah.
you're a nice, humble person, like it still takes something to, so
Yes.
it's like, so if someone's like, well, yeah, you're looking for something, like, yeah, I'm on stage. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like, yes, it's about expressing
Yeah.
myself. Yes, I want
Yeah.
to entertain people and I love people. But yeah, I get something from performing. Like you're
Yeah.
absolutely correct. So if you want to judge me for that, you're correct.
Well, I mean, talk about like making the pizzas. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, so I went to culinary school and people
Uh-huh.
always ask me, like, what's your favorite thing to make? It was never about what I was making. It was about the presentation, the
Yeah.
deliverance, and did the people enjoy it? But if you're gonna pay to come see me, you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure it's worth seeing. And
Yeah.
if you think that I'm just trying to get something out of it, you're right. I want you to come
Yeah.
back. And if you don't like it, then fuck off.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It can be. It's yeah. But yeah, this was a good one. So
I like it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's good. I'm glad we discussed that one. That'll be a good clip.
Yeah.
All right, this one right here. This will be the last one.
Okay. So this is my corporate life, or it was my corporate life. So there's a couple of threads here. So at this job specifically, I guess truth be told, like I probably should have never left this job because I could do whatever I wanted. Like I really figure like all of the above. Like what does that mean? All of the above. So I worked on this team and we had somebody leave our team and it was just so weird. And it was just so weird. And I told my boss at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sage cleanse their cube before we get a new person. And she was like, okay, just put it on the calendar. And so I literally on this team, I did 3 sage cleansing ceremonies of cubes. And
now, do you actually have any knowledge of sage cleansing?
No. I just made it up. Like I went in there with a sage stick. I couldn't light it because, fire. But I bought this cape and hat and, so again, the hat is the other, like I can't wear hats, but I have crazy hats. But I did this sage cleansing and this one was for my boss because she was going somewhere else, like in the company. So since she was leaving us, I, saged her office. And so she was, it was bittersweet, but I did this ceremony. Like I would do read Prince lyrics and then we would, chant. And I don't know. We just did such dumb stuff. And it was beautiful. So
is any of that from Target?
The cape for sure. I don't know if the hat is. There used to be a costume store in our area called Fun Effects, and I don't think it was I don't know if it was a chain or not, but Fun Effects just had, it had theatrical makeup, costumes. They had a lot of prop stuff as well. So it was kind of Halloween, but it was also very it was still very theatrical based. So it was pretty unique. And this is that's a whole other scandal because it moved from different locations and then it moved to just a warehouse and then it mysteriously burned down. There's a lot the Fun Effects story to me is one of those South Bend legends that I'm that it's worth exploring.
Right.
Cape from Target, hat, effects. The sage stick is probably that might be Fun Effects as well. It could be Fun Effects or it could be Michael's. But I know I did at least 3 cube cleansings there. So
that's funny. That's actually really funny. It kind of shows your character is again kind of the chair with the craziness, just off the wall, have a good time, make people feel good,
I try. Yeah. So
well, Brian, I really appreciate you coming on. I mean, we've been in touch, I think, for a few months now. Well, quite a few months now, on and off. And I'm glad I finally got to have you on. So
thank you. I'll be happy to come back and whatever. So yeah,
of course. I hope you enjoyed it. So
it was good. That was funny. Those are good pictures. So
good. Yeah. Well, and I didn't want to pick anything off the wall, which you really, none of that was really. I don't think you really post anything that's just too crazy.
I don't think I do. I do think that again, the bigger conversation about social media and also having to move to more in 2025, I have I don't think it's been really a huge cleanup effort, but I know that some of the things I used to post 5-10 years ago was very, very Tumblr-esque, something with a picture with a mood or with whatever. Oh, I love Sarah Woolley. But it's just, Yeah, no, I mean, I thank you for that. I want to take that as a compliment. So yeah,
No, that's good. I mean, like I said, I did some scrolling. I mean, some of those pictures
yeah,
are back a ways. So,
uh, yeah. That's
but yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'd love to have you back on again, and we
sounds
could
good.
discuss other topics.
Yeah,
We've got multiple shows, so
yeah,
stick around. Everybody that's tuned in, Sarah, thank you for tuning in, even though it was last minute.
yay.
You can watch us whenever you want. This will be on all the audio platforms by the end of the day. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
Thank you.